Greetings. What's going on? What's happening? I am Stephen Rousseau, also known as Akin Onija Ade. The symbol that I want to focus on today, and for us to have a very deep understanding or perspective of it, is a very popular symbol. We definitely have all seen it before, particularly with Tutankhamun in his tomb, and also we have seen it in many popular movies, or the hand gesture in popular movies, which is the arms crossing the chest. And what we would see in the Tutankhamun tomb is the arms are crossing the chest, and each hand is holding some a very particular items that are very specific to the royal position or person of authority, right? So the two things that we see is a shepherd's crook and a flail. The shepherd's crook is called heka. The flail is called nekaka. I might be pronouncing wrong, but it's in the ancient Egyptian language it's called nekaka. So heka is the crook, and the flail is called nekaka. Now, reason why it's very interesting that they chose these two items to represent royalty and authority, especially for one going into the afterlife. The shepherd's crook is a symbol of power, is a symbol of kingship, rulership, is a symbol of queenship, is a symbol of power. And the 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 Heka is sometimes the symbol of a person who is a ruler. The flail is a symbol of authority, of authority, of and the also the symbol of a person who keeps a society going, thriving. So, why did they choose these two symbols? Why did they choose a shepherd's crook and a flail to symbolize something so powerful and to be associated with such important person in society and an important being in the spiritual aspect, in the spiritual system of Kemet? Well, this all goes back to the appreciation and seeing the divinity within the agriculture of society, seeing the importance of maintaining life in society. So the shepherd's crook, right? If we understand what a shepherd's crook is, it's used to keep the sheeps and the herd, the livestock in line. So that crook part is what they will use to hook around the animals to carefully bring them back into the herd if they were to wander off. The flail is to keep the herd moving forward. They would gently tap on the the herd, the backside of the livestock, and they'll keep them going. But also the crook and the flail was used as protection to protect the herd, to make sure that any sort of predatory animals are not coming to harm the livestock. So they will use these two tools to protect the livestock as well. So it's not that the kings and queens and they don't see Osiris or Asar as these herders and we are livestock. No, that's not the case. The symbol of the crook is a representation of the crook is used to keep oneself in line, as well as the morals of society. And the flail was to be a representation of progression, that through my this leadership, right? To say if I'm the king and I have the crook and the flail, my leadership in enforcing morals and enforcing standards in society that will then keep us in line and keep us going forward as a people. And so when they show a person with that, that means they have taken on that responsibility. In the case of Asar, he does that in the spiritual realm. From a spiritual perspective, he maintains authority and rulership in the spiritual world, keeping our spirits in line when we talk about the scale of Ma'at, which I discussed in a video. If you look into how the scale of Ma'at is a way for us to understand how we can live, I go into details about that. So Asar, he represents a keeping spirits in line, but also allowing spirits to move forward into the next life, the next journey. So we can learn from these two symbols. We can use that as tools in how we could live in our own lives. Not actual physical tools, but philosophical tools. I guess we could use that in using that way. Sometimes we get distracted. Sometimes we're pulled in different directions. So we need that hypothetical shepherd's crook or Heka to pull us back in line, to bring us back to our path. And then sometimes we just need a good push, like the flail, to keep us going, to keep us to be progressive as individuals. So the symbol is something that we can remind ourselves when we feel that we're just all over the place. Let's pull ourselves back here. Let's think of that symbol and let's come back to our journey, come back to our path, come back to what we need to do, and and continue to push ourselves and each other in order to go forward, just like what the flail represents. And not only we remind ourselves using those symbols to keep ourselves in line as well as to keep ourselves going, we use that symbol to remind others to come back to themselves, to keep them in line, and as well as giving them that extra push to keep going through motivation, through positive affirmations. That's one of the things that we can do that is representation of those two symbols. We can use that energetically for ourselves and for each other. I hope this was a wonderful video for you all to have a deeper understanding of symbols that are used for farmers but then could represent something even bigger. And I hope this was a great reminder of just staying on point, staying focused, and just keep going. Stay motivated, keep pushing, protect yourselves from any energy that's trying to pull you away, and could always come back to self. And a reminder to do that also for your fellow brethren, fellow sisters, fellow human beings out there in the world. As always, very grateful for you all. Thank you for allowing me to share this content, and I hope all this is well received. I look forward to reconnecting with you all soon. And I leave you with this Unk Uja Suneb, life, prosperity, and health. Let's go all continue to live this beautiful life. Let's all continue to prosper in this life, all in good health. And to close out, we'll say Hotep. Peace be unto you, and peace be unto self.